Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. And as always, I'm Scott Carson. Today's episode is a little bit different than I guess you could say most, which is okay, because I think it's good to switch it up a little bit. Today's episode is all about why your note in real estate business is like March Madness. Now, a little bit of background here for you guys. If you don't know what March Madness is, it's this time of year where we have the NCAA men's and women's college basketball tournament. And it's always great to see a lot of the excitement that goes in the universities, and also a lot of people get excited about it. Besides the Super Bowl, it's probably the largest betting area or betting weekends amongst workers as people fill out their brackets to see who's going to go from the 68 teams that make it to the NCAA tournament down to the final championship game. And literally, my bucket is already busted. Last night, I watched as the first half as my team that I picked to win it all, Arizona, got kicked out or lost in the first round to a 13 seed. Now, Arizona was a ranked 4 seed, which means they were in the top 16 really of teams, and they lost to a team that wasn't even in the top 30. Buffalo, a team that had no NBA superstars, and then the Arizona team, when they lost, they had 2 stars that immediately said they were going to go skip their sophomore, junior, and senior seasons and go straight to the NFL. I'm glad to see we got some people that are fans there. Ryan says Memphis all the way. Awesome. They don't have John Calipari coaching for them. They're not going all the way. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is it's an exciting time of year. Now, it's also the biggest weekend the biggest Thursday, Friday that people take off from work, especially men, because they take Thursday and Friday off to either go sit at home and watch basketball. We've also found this week some weird things. The beginning of this week, or Wednesday, or Tuesday or Wednesday, is also the largest and the most vasectomies are scheduled at the beginning of the week. I can't make this crap up, guys and gals, so that they can sit home on Thursday and Friday and watch college basketball with a bag of ice in their balls. But anyway, those are the funny things. And obviously, there's a lot of excitement going on. I think there's only out of 17 million brackets submitted to ESPN, only 10,000 are still good. A lot of people are already upset after the couple of upsets last night. But what I'm trying to get at, it was exciting to watch. Not only watch the first half of the Arizona Buffalo game, because we went to a movie afterwards, and I was like, ooh, this isn't looking good when the big team with 2 future NBA stars are down by 2 at the half. And you can just see the passion of the Buffalo team really rocking and rolling along and really making up for their lack of talent compared to the Arizona team. They were hungrier. They wanted it more. And that's the thing that I love about March Madness is you have a lot of buzzer beaters. You have a lot of people that teams that make it to the tournament maybe for the first time. You had teams last night, like Houston won for the first time in like 20 years, an NCAA playoff game. You have so much pride and excitement, not only by the players, but the bench and the fans. And it's a great orchestra of entertainment to watch a lot of the things. So I don't really watch much college basketball. I watch Texas. I'm a Longhorn fan. I'm rooting for them to win today versus the Nevada Wolfpack in Nashville. Ryan Barnett, you're sitting here saying, I bet that's why some have called in sick yesterday and today. I had no idea. They probably called in sick to watch the NCAA tournament. Yeah, little things you'll learn on the Note Closer Show podcast. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at, guys and gals, is there's a lot of just awesomeness going on. There's a lot of upsets. There's a lot of people that are just scrapping and clawing their way. And a lot of people get excited to get to the dance. That's what they call it, the big dance, the big NCAA tournament. They're excited to get in. You see them winning their conference tournaments and teams that, it's like the whole, if you ever watched the game called Hoosiers, it's like, Hickory making it to the big dance in Indianapolis, playing Indianapolis High School in there, and Jimmy hitting the winning shot to win the tournament and all. It's a lot like that for us in the note business. And the reason, how am I going to make this analogy work? I get it, okay? What I'm trying to get at, everybody, is a lot of people give up before they ever get in the game. A lot of people might practice. They might make a couple offers in their note business. They might reach out to asset managers once and then not get a response back, so they don't follow up with things. And if you've ever heard the quote by Michael Jordan, I am good at what I'm doing because I've missed over 1 million shots. I've missed hundreds of game-winning shots, but I've also made a bunch. That's almost the mentality I would love to see people have when it comes to no business. But unfortunately, it's really only 1% of people have the drive and the determination to make it where they want to go. Only about 1% of people out there will ultimately stick to what they are passionate about, stick to being mentally tough and overcoming obstacles and doing things on a daily basis, a weekly basis to make things happen. I mean, I get an email today from a lady who reached out to me almost a year ago wanting to work with us. Well, hey, I'm coming. I'd love to come in. I'm an expert at all this stuff. And I'm like, great. Reach out, called twice, left 2 voice messages and an email, and never got a response back. And out of the blue, oh, hey, I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, no offense. I reached out to you a while back. We have since solved it. I don't need to work with somebody who's not going to return phone calls, or at least give me the courtesy to tell me, hey, I've taken a job somewhere else. That's completely fine. I don't have any time for that. If you want me to help you out now, I'm sorry. You kind of burnt that bridge on the front end. You have to realize that if you want to succeed in today's world, you have more resources than you've ever had before. You have less excuses and less bullshit you can feed yourself to find success in whatever your drive is, whatever your determination is. You don't have to be a number 1 seed to win the tournament. And still, only about 60% of number 1 seeds actually win the tournament anyway. There's still a variety of seconds and thirds. You don't have to be the best at what you do to make an impact. And this is the same thing I want to tell you guys when it comes to notice business. You don't have to be the big hedge fund. You don't have to be buying thousands and thousands of assets. You can carve out what you need to call yourself successful. Success is what you determine it to be. All right. You don't have to buy 100 assets a year. Maybe you need to buy 20 assets a year. Maybe you need to buy 10. Whatever that number is, you can accomplish it. But what you don't accomplish is if you just give something a try and then don't continue to follow up. This business is all about rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I'm going to reach out to asset managers. I'm going to do some marketing to raise capital. I'm going to reach out to asset managers. I'm going to do some marketing to raise capital. I'm going to sell some assets. I'm going to, raise some more capital. That's really what it all comes down to. And then managing your vendors. So many people buy assets. I see people that have bought assets initially and they stop buying. They just focus on their 2 or 3 or 4 assets, and that's what they focus on. I talking to some students the other day, like, oh, they went back to work. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why'd you go back to work? Well, because I didn't buy enough assets. Like, wait, how many assets did you make offers on? 10. And I'm like, how many did you buy that time? 2. Okay, why didn't you make assets? You had 90 plus days, 120 plus days. Why are you not continuing to buy? You had all the resources. You've had all the emails. You've had all the phone call numbers. And some people just aren't comfortable trying to be a success. They're scared of their own image. When I talk to people all the time and they're saying that they're struggling with their business, I ask them a couple of things. First of all, how many emails are you sending out of your database? How many asset managers are reaching out to? And usually those 2 numbers are 0. You can't expect to win the tournament or even get into the tournament if you're not taking shots. Okay? Now, one of my dreams growing up when I was a young kid was to play football. Okay? And my dad was very against it when I was a young kid, very against me playing, didn't want me to get hurt. And finally, he was able to convince people, or the coaches in my high school were able to convince him to let me play. And I played and I excelled at it. And, was a linebacker and did really well. I was a 2-time team captain and won some accolades, player of the week and all district and all that good stuff that goes along with it. And then actually got a scholarship. I was one of the 1%ers that made it from the high school level to the college ranks. And I played there. It wasn't fun for me after a while because my knee was hurting. It just wasn't fun. And I lost interest in it. I get it. I'm not going to say it. I love football still. Still a big fan of the game and baseball and sports, stuff like that. But it got to the point where it was not fun playing anymore. My knee was killing me. I knew that I wasn't going to advance to the NFL. I knew that I wasn't the fastest guy like I used to be. And I got playing time. It just that it wasn't as much as I wanted to be. So I had to adjust my goals for a while. And I remember talking to my parents the night I told them that I didn't want to play anymore. And it was very heart-wrenching to me because I was letting a dream die on me. And God, I remember the pain of it right now. Um, the thing I want you guys to know that if you have a dream, go out and get it. Now, your dream of financial independence isn't limited by your ability to hit somebody or run a 4.640 or to catch the ball or throw up 225 pounds 20 times like they're doing at the NFL combine for college athletes here the last couple of weeks. It's not limited by that. You have your brain. And if you can write an email, you can post a video, you can reach out and reach up to somebody and go say network, you can find success. You don't have to rely on a job to determine that your 40 or 50 or $60,000 salary is what you are worth to society. All right, because I guarantee those guys last night at Buffalo, when they walked in the room, the coach said something on the interviews. They knew that we could play. Our guys knew we could play. Our guys knew we belonged. Our guys thought we were better. And you have 12, 13 guys on the Buffalo bench, probably aren't going to see the NBA. And then you have all the talent on the University of Arizona side, two of them just amazing guys. They're going to make millions of dollars. Couldn't wait for the newscast to be over to say, oh, yeah, we're declaring for the NBA draft. We won't be back next year. And that's what it comes down to. Those that have success in this business have bigger heart. You can have all the success. You can have all the money saved, all the private money in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to be a success at the level. I see more success coming from people that don't have private money, that don't have $500,000 saved. I see more success from those people than I do those that have a lot of money. Those that have a lot of money, they hunt and peck, they don't market, and they may buy some assets, but at some point they run out of their own money, and they say, well, I got to wait till I get my assets sold before I can go back and replenish that funds. And that's not the case. There's $7 trillion in private money sitting on the sidelines waiting for you to pick up the phone. There's millions and millions of dollars that these self-directed IRA trustees just sitting there making zero, waiting for somebody to come and say, hey, I got a deal. Would you like to partner with me on it? I've got an opportunity here. Okay? I guarantee you can recruit like the big boys, because those investors, those other asset managers at banks and stuff like that, they're waiting for somebody to call them with an opportunity to get it off their books. They're not waiting for the Blackstones, the Bank of Americas, the Chases, who are the number one seeds, to come in and buy their assets. They're looking for somebody who's a 13 seed or a 16 seed, who's making it to the dance for the first time, who's excited to be playing there. And that's why I love this business, because there's equal footing. And I say this all the time when I go to like conferences like Node Expo or IMN or Paper Source, and you see these funds that are there, these funds that are back to these employees of funds who, the nice suits, and they talk down to people. I want to smack them in their fucking face, because they don't have as much of the line as the guy who's there, who would basically save money to get to the event, who's just as, if not hungrier for success than some guy who's making $70,000 salary or $100,000 salary. You have more being a scrapper. You have a bigger chance of success being a scrapper than somebody who's entitled to success, who's entitled because they have a job. They may not know it yet, but all those people out there, all those people that were through our workshops and over the last couple of years, and or watching us on Facebook Live, or listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or TuneIn or whatever it is, or those that are watching the replays on YouTube or Vimeo, I challenge you to go do something. I challenge you to get in the freaking game. I challenge you to grab a hold of that ball and go up and dunk it, or lay it up if you can. I guarantee, because most of you who are scared to take action are afraid you're going to Shaquille O'Neal there sitting there guarding the basket, wanting to swat you away. And it may happen occasionally in some bids, but you know what? He can't guard from the outside. He can't guard more outside the basket. All right? That's the beautiful thing about us smaller guys, is that we are boutique, we're agile, mobile, hostile. We can make changes on the fly. We can adjust our markets to make sense of assets in different areas. Whereas the big guys, they just don't have the flexibility to do it. They don't have they have a lot of the resources, but they're too big. They're like the Titanic. They can't get out of the way of the iceberg that's dead ahead. Whereas us as note investors, the smaller guys, the boutique guys and gals, you have a lot more flexibility. You have a lot more opportunities out there to reach out on a regular basis. You just have to use the tools that are there for you. And in today's market, there are so many tools available to you. There's so many things that you can use that are free, that are online. You have to do search. You just got to think a little bit outside the box. You got to come up with a little different inbounds play, okay, or different pick and roll. Yes, I'm using basketball jargon for those that don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now, okay? But the biggest thing, I would love you guys that are watching right now, the viewers, the commenting, stuff like that. What has been your biggest surprise as a note investor? What's been your biggest aha moment? That wasn't so difficult moment. Well, that was easier than expected moment, okay? What has been your biggest surprise as you've been getting into this business for a while? We got quite a few people watching. That's great. Awesome. Good stuff. Good to see. I'm going to jump on here, see if people leave some comments while I'm looking at my phone here versus just the live stream here. Love that you love the videos. But it's not hard. Ryan Barnett, I love what you are doing, bud. You are doing some great stuff. You're posting in different meetup groups. You've started the Memphis Note Closers group, and really kind of rejuvenated life into that group, which is phenomenal because Memphis is a hot market. Memphis is an attractive market. One of the things that you should be doing, Ryan, if you don't mind me saying, is last night on our Note Night in America webinar, we had a couple assets in Memphis. That might be worth reaching out to Joel and find out what they're wanting for, and then bringing that to your group on your webinar. I think you're doing tonight or tomorrow or next week, okay? But a webinar is simple enough to do. You get the word out, okay? And it's like anything else, exactly like what Ryan says here. It's like anything else, persistence. It's doing the same thing over and over. It's showing up to practice your free throws, or practice your outside shooting, or practice your dribbling the ball. Because a lot of us, when we get in the note business, we are dribbling that basketball all over our feet, all right, out of bounds. We don't know what the hell we're doing, which is okay if you don't have any experience in the mortgage or finance industry. You just keep working at it. You keep practicing. You keep getting better. Ryan says, thank you, I appreciate your correct planning. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, give Joel a phone call on those 2 Memphis assets. I think the seller, I know who the seller is, but reach out to Joel directly. You may be able to get those assets and offer up some sort of opportunity to people in your group. I know that I think the seller would be willing to be even to carry financing or 1 or 2 of them to help them get them off their books. But that's what I'm trying to get at, guys and gals, is if you get a second this weekend, you flip on over to, I think it's on TBS or CBS or ESPN, stop a second and watch and look at who's playing who. Because right now, it's the David versus Goliath. It's the higher ranked stuff beating the snot out of the lower ranked stuff. And when the brackets came out, there was a lot of uproar that a lot of the mid-major, the smaller conferences really got crappy bids. You know, like the bigger or the better known teams or the better talented teams had more of a, pretty cheesy or easy schedule. All right. Well, that wasn't the case last night. That wasn't the case for a couple of teams that lost that were predicted, that had higher ranking teams. Okay. It also wasn't the case for those lower ranked teams that pulled off the upset. Okay. So you keep that in mind. You guys have the opportunity, whether it's on an individual asset or smaller assets, or reaching out to these asset managers at banks that have smaller portfolios or contract for deeds or other assets, or reaching out like our great tip from Brent Garrett yesterday about how he reaches out to attorneys handling foreclosures on owner finance deals to find deals. Oh, you're not going to see a hedge fund do that. You're not going to see a big bank do that. That's a phenomenal idea. All right. That was so well worth listening to the whole episode for everybody. But that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. You guys have the opportunity to be the diaper dandies, to be the people that are new on the block, making things happen, to pulling off the upset, to pulling off the buzzer beaters and advancing to the next round. Okay. I should probably try to come up with some sort of tournament challenge where we put people against people and they get a deal to come up with in the first week. Oh, that would be kind of cool. The unfortunate thing is you'd have a lot of people that just didn't do anything. They didn't show. They just rolled over and gave up without doing anything. What's been your biggest surprise, guys? Back to the question that I asked a second ago. Rattling on here. So what's been your biggest surprise as a note investor? As somebody who's brand new to the business. Come on, guys. I know that I see you guys that are watching. I see the Brett Berkeys, the Ryans, the Laura Blancs. I see other people out there watching. What are your biggest things? The Juan Perceros. Now, if you're brand new to this, I get to I don't know. Big surprise is watching this guy every week on Facebook or listening to him. But go Texas, go Longhorns, beat the Wolfpack. All right. One of the things that I hear from people all the time is it was easier than they expected it to be. They were surprised. I'll give a great example. Laura Blunt came into my office the other day, and she sent an email out to the asset managers. And she's surprised that she's driving from her house about an hour away here, maybe an hour and a half, who knows, depending on traffic, awesome traffic. And she got an asset manager to call her. Hey, I got some assets. And she's like, oh my God, it's blown away. I'm like, one email already resulted in one lead. That's the thing I hear the most. I'm surprised somebody actually called me. Or I'll give you an example. I've sat down with so many people and helped them write emails out to their database, and they get people that respond back that have money to invest. Like, oh my God, today this person has 20 grand. Yeah, it's not 100 grand or $1 million, but they got some money to invest with. And Laura responds, biggest surprise how fast you get responses from email. That is what I'm talking about. An email is like the lowest entry point for anything. Anybody can write an email. Now, I would prefer that most people send it from their email service provider, kind of like MailChimp. Well, I use Infusionsoft and stuff like that. It's important for me. Ryan shares here. For me, it's been eye-opening at the network. And as you just said, you will get stumped sometimes, but yes, easier than expected if you stay with it. Yes, your learning curve goes down, or the steepness expires relatively quickly if you're networking. Ryan's done a great job of embedding himself in different virtual Facebook groups for different cities across the country. He's doing a great job with the Memphis market, doing some email blasts out to his database and some social media posts. So it's not that hard. The hardest part is initially the creation of an email template, or figuring out what the hell do I say now aspect to the business. You know what I mean, everybody? That's usually the most difficult part for people, is figuring out what the hell do I say, when do I say it. If you just spend a little bit of time and think through it, it's usually an easier thing. But literally, guys, it is. You can be like I said, you can be a 16 seed that beats a 1 seed. Now, you may not beat them in long term, but you may beat them in individual assets. And that's still great, because that victory by Buffalo last night, they'll be using that to recruit for years to come. All right. And Buffalo may not win the national championship. They may get to the Sweet 16, which is great. Good for them. If they make it to the Elite 8, look at, let's take it back a little bit. I think a lot of people are fans of the NBA. And you look at Steph Curry, okay? Steph Curry, who's the two-time MVP of the league, plays for the Golden State Warriors. What is he, 6'2"? He might be a little taller than 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", something like that. But an amazing shooter. I mean, guy can light it up from anywhere. He played at a small college called Davidson. And his team, they beat Duke, who was the big number 1 seed a few years back, if I remember correct. Number 1, number 2 seed. They made it to, I think, the Sweet 16. Him and 11 other guys. And he's the guy that made the NBA. He's got all the NBA talent. But his talent on that team, and the one when they won, shone a big, bright light on him that Golden State was willing to draft him because of his own talent. You guys have the ability to think about that. If you make a few great deals, you make some offers of stuff, and you share a spotlight, you may be able to have some big bucks willing to draft you as a funding partner, as a joint venture partner to you. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. You have the opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there that if you're not taking the action to make things happen, you're only harming yourself. I was watching, as I was getting ready to get rock and roll, and a video popped up from Will Smith talking about how the 99% of people won't do anything, and how people yell at him, hey, man, I want to be an actor, Will Smith. And he says most people won't even be dedicated to overcoming their mind games, being self-disciplined in their mind to eat the right foods, or to work out, or not to eat or drink a lot of crazy stuff out there. And then if you want to accomplish your dreams of being an actor or an athlete or things like that, you have to put the work in on a daily basis. You can't give up. You've got to have sole focus of mind. You've got to have sole purpose to get things done. And everything else, if you want to accomplish dream, is put to the sidelines, is less. And unfortunately, many people, many entrepreneurs, let the sidelines come in and overcome their dream goals of what they want to accomplish. They let all that noise block out their inner voice talking about, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And I don't know what it is, but if you look back and you see little kids playing, they're hitting the home runs, they're winning the game-winning shots, you know what? They're throwing the winning touchdown, okay? They're doing all these amazing things as kids because they have this great imagination. Nobody has told them no that they can't. And as adults, we lose that ability to say yes, where we start listening to the crowd. We start listening to the no's. We start listening to this thinking for people out there. And it causes us to stop focusing on things. It causes us to stop chasing our dreams. And if I can tell you one of two things is a really powerful image to you guys, is find an image. Find something that's valuable to you. Even if you're just sitting there for a second, if you're listening at home on iTunes or Stitcher, I want you to close your eyes right now. If you're watching here on Facebook Live, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of what success looks like to you. What does it look like? Think about it. And I have to thank Michelle Young for talking about this. Michelle's been on earlier before, amazing life coach and dear friend of Steph and me. And Aaron Young, obviously, is her husband, who's also family, but listener to talk about success. And so think that. Close your eyes for a second. Think about what success looks like. If you had an ideal day, what would that look like? What would you do when you wake up in the morning? What would you look like? What would your activities be? Would it be getting up to get coffee? Would it be getting up and going to the gym? Would it be getting up, walking outside in your veranda, feeling the wind against your face or against your robe or your shirt or your nightgown? What do you see? Do you see an apartment complex? Do you see a big city? Do you see the ocean? Do you see the mountains? Do you see the forest? What do you hear? Think about that. Is it the wind chimes? Is it your dog doing his or her business? Is it cars? Is it the mockingbird or the robin? Is it the sway of the trees in the wind? What do you hear? Is it the sound of the ocean, the beach crashing? What does your day look like? Where are you living? What size of the house? What kind of car are you driving? Think about these things. These are the images of success. These are the images of ultimately what you want your dream to be. My high school basketball coach, Marty Bell. My gosh, Marty Bell brings back a day. He used to tell us to do that. We would sit there before a game when we were playing basketball in high school, and so I talked about dreaming, thinking about that, hitting those shots, sinking those free throws. That was the big thing I was focused on because I was never a good free throw shooter. Could rebound. The feel of it going through. Feel about the form. What does that form look like for your life? What does that success look like for you guys out there? Whatever that success is, you should probably immediately write it down. Or you should immediately go find a photo of something that you can either throw where you can see it every day in your car or in your house or in the TV or the fridge or the bathroom or by your bed, because that type of imaging will help you reprogram your mind. It'll help you stay focused on things. It will help you accomplish bigger things and be direct and dedicated to that end game. And I guarantee it, when you listen to the interviews and you listen to the discussions with the players and the coaches after the winning games or the winning teams this year from the different rounds, you'll see that the players, the coaches, they saw it going in. I guess many of them that walked in, like Buffalo last night, walked into that stadium and knew they could play. They knew they could beat Arizona. They knew it ahead of time before they ever got, and they won that game before the first shot was ever thrown up, before that first tip ball, before that first rebound, before that first lay, before that dunk, before that pass, before that first dribble. They knew they could play with those guys, and they knew they could win. If they did their job, they knew it would be up. And if you listen to the coach before halftime, he was upset because they had 8 turnovers in the first half. If they didn't have 8 turnovers, they'd have been up by 10 at the half versus 2. And you know how many turnovers they had in the second half? They had 1. 1 turnover in the second half to superior foe. They kicked Arizona's ass. And I'm an Arizona fan. They kicked ass last night. But they visualized it. And so for you guys, your March Madness this weekend. I know it's St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes maybe your goal is a green pint of beer or something like that this weekend, with Saturday being St. Patrick's Day. But I want you to, if you can do anything this weekend, anything to help yourself out, think about that. Visualize it. If it's a car you want to buy, download a picture of the car. Go by the dealership. Sit in that car. See what it feels like. Feel what the leather or whatever it feels like on your ass and what your hands feel like on the steering wheel and what it smells like. And take a picture in front of the car. You ain't got to buy it. Take a picture of it and take it somewhere. And that could be your goal. If you want to take a vacation, whether it's to Hawaii or to Europe, find out what it costs to do that. Put a picture up somewhere to do it. Things start appearing when you're planning. Steph and I are planning a trip to Hawaii here in a few weeks that we're excited to be going on. We haven't gone to Hawaii in 2 years. We're going out here soon. And I told her, just book it. You know, we got the hotel and basically everything on points. Airfare we found pretty cheap, but so just book it. Let's just schedule it. Let's just go get out of here. It's not going to cost us that much. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just take the time away, visualize it. And sure enough, what starts popping up? Hawaii images. I get on my computer yesterday or the day before, and there's the image of the natural born crater that has been used by the military there for bombing raids. Now it's a great place to go snorkeling, where I've snorkeled about 2 years ago. I'm walking into HEB last night, our grocery store here, and the lady in front of me is wearing a Mama's Fish House t-shirt. If you don't know what Mama's Fish House is, you need to check it out. It's one of the most amazing restaurants in all of the world as far as food. It's just a great place. You've got to get reservations 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. We had a reservation for a while. And I'm like, God, thank you. Because I guarantee if you start chasing the right dreams that are set in place for you in doing the things that you should be doing, those things will start appearing. Those things will start showing up in your life as a sign that, hey, you're on the right track. And you don't have to be a man of God or a big faith, but I'm a big believer that if I'm doing the right things, God will provide. He who works hard, God helps those that help themselves. All right. I'm not being religious here. It's just my personal faith that if I'm doing the right things, God will put the things in my path to help me accomplish those, because those reminders, those signs. And I have seen those signs on stuff like that. And I guarantee you guys will too with things. I've sometimes you've had, sometimes it's conversations you have with people. And when I went to traffic and conversion, Steph and I were talking about that last night. We're sitting there. We always seem to adjust our business model this time of year as we tweak things, we add things. And one of the biggest things, we'll be tweaking something. I had an idea yesterday, ran an idea, and it looks like it's going to be a profitable idea. It's going to be a great thing for us, not only for us, but also for our students, because that's ultimately what our goal is. Our goal is not just to make money for ourselves. Our goal is to help our students make money and have a servant-minded leadership that if we can make those around us successful, we naturally would rise with the tide as well. I mean, I could sit here and just do deals myself, but it's not what it's called to do. So if there's no other comments, questions, reactions, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If there's something that I help you out with, do it. Guys, if you have a goal, something you want to accomplish, a trip you want to go on, something, write it down, state it. Get your spouse, get your family involved. If your family has a dream, if your spouse maybe is not the most encouraging person, but they have a goal they want to accomplish, find out what that goal is. Make it a joint goal to help them hit those things, because I guarantee you, if you'll help them accomplish something or see something big, it can help you too. Maybe it's a getaway. Maybe it's something. You can help build that dream inside of both of you and use the no business to accomplish that. So that is all I have for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful. Once again, visualize your success. Go out and make something. Visualize yourselves making that basket, making that game-winning shot, buying that asset that's paying you $500 a month, or making 50 grand a year, 100 grand in a no business, or making 10 grand a month on residual income coming off your performance. Whatever it is, whatever that goal is, you can reach it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what bullshit you tell yourself, what you've been through, divorce, bankruptcy, foreclosure. I don't care what it is. You can go out and accomplish amazing things if you just set your mind to it. If you just work on it on a daily basis, weekly basis. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the actions of what you can do. Don't give up. Don't give up and quit trying. Yes, sometimes you got to take a jump. Sometimes you got to take a step back from your dreams to regroup and reattack it. Okay? You can do whatever you want to do. You just have to get busy doing it. All right? Don't give up. Go out and make something happen. And I guarantee if you keep failing forward, keep working towards your goal, eventually you'll look back in 3 months, 6 months, and you go, holy cow, I've come a long way in the last year. And that's when you know that you're on your way to the top. And we look forward to you guys and gals to seeing you at the top at some point. So go out and make something happen, guys and gals, and have a great day. We wish you the best. And like I said, Steph and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye, everybody.